Hello, my name is David Hess, and I own a bookstore in Orange, California, the Bookman. I've been there a little more than 30 years, and in that time, uh, I've found many things within books. And what I've done on my Facebook account at Bookman Facebook is have a weekly item where I show things found in used books. And it's turned out to be very popular with my customers and followers. And I've been asked to share today some of the stuff that I've found in used books. And used books are a great place to store things. A lot of times, stuff is just bookmarks; they're just being used as bookmarks. Sometimes, as in the case with flowers or plants, they're put in there as a keepsake. Uh, but over time, those things get forgotten, and they end up in a used bookseller's hands. And I'm the chief pricer at the Bookman. I've been pricing books for the whole time, 30 years. And as I say, I found many a thing in the books. Most of the stuff I find is pretty mundane and uninteresting. Uh, find a lot of bookmarks, which can be interesting, especially if they're older and from stores of some renown, stores long past. So find a lot of bookmarks. I do find pictures, not many racy ones, every now and then, but not a whole lot. I find people often ask me, "How much money have you found?" And honestly, in my career of pricing books and finding stuff, I've never been fortunate. I found three $2 bills once, a total of $6. However, I found plenty of foreign money. I found the other day, I found a piece of Brazilian money and from 1926. Um, so the stuff can be relatively uninteresting, but every now and then there's stuff that just catches your fancy, especially if you kind of like nostalgic or seeing things from the past and the way things were. One of the many things I do find are receipts in books, like from Barnes and Noble or Borders or whatever. You'll find their receipts in a book, and again, not too interesting. I mean, it could have some age on it from the '80s, but still, it kind of still looks like a receipt. But every now and then, in this book here, I don't know if you can see it good. It's called The Brave Little Quakeress, and this book was published uh, 1890, So it's a little 1892 book. Came across the desk the other day, and within it, I found this receipt. I hope you can see it. Now, again, it's not super interesting, I mean, unique and visually, but it's from 1899 to a Mr. Christman for in Chicago, Illinois, and they wrote up this receipt for Mr. Christman, 1899, or I don't know. I doubt if it was this book. I think it's for a newspaper. So there you go, it's sitting in this book since 1899 or thereabouts. So that I find being interesting. And on the back, also, it has the Chicago Record Daily News stamp with a phone number and where it has 212 4th Street. So there you go. That's interesting. In this book here that came across the desk the other day, it's called Mechanical Dentistry. The book itself is interesting. So, and it's full of graphics from it's the 1926 is when this book was published. So you got 1926 dentistry. But within the book, I found a business card. I don't know if it's staying in focus, but anyway, I found a business card from Lorrin Andrews, lawyer, 906 William Fox Building, Los Angeles. So this is probably, a lawyer of the age. And I did a little Google research on this guy, and he helped with a kind of like a paternity suit in around the Aimee Semple McPherson era, and with one of her people or something. I don't know, but so he was a legitimate big time attorney in L.A. And there's his card in a dentistry book. So now a little more current. I found I got a broad art on it, so it's a little shiny. I'm sorry, but Dick Clark, big teenage guy in the 50s and later, of course. First edition, 1959. So it's for the book itself. I mean, I've seen this book a million times. It's kind of kicky, nostalgic. And what I found in it is this little cutout. It's been taped in by somebody. Let's see here. You can kind of see it. It's taped in. And what it is, it's an advertisement for a Dick Clark doll, probably from the 1950s as well, most likely. And it's Dick Clark and Football Hero. So you got the little football hero down at the bottom, the Dick at the top. So someone took the time to tape this into their book. I wonder if they bought the Dick Clark doll, because in the 50s it was $7.59 to get this thing. So imagine if you had it now in a box, it'd be worth a lot of money. And lastly, for this week's finds, these are just books that have come across my desk this week. I'm not bringing the whole archives. I have plenty of stuff. Jack Parr, I kid you not, no dust jacket. Jack Parr, hopefully he was a famous television host before Johnny Carson. And this came from Anna Caraway in South Carolina. This was her book, traveled all the way here to California. And within this book is someone cut out an article about Mr. Parr from the local TV guide. So you have the TV guide, but within the article itself is not so interesting, because over time, what's interesting are what's on television. It shows what was locally on New Time and Channel, The Lone Ranger, I Love Lucy, Detectives, Groucho Marx Show. So these are all shows that are on. And here's the sports shows, but also down here is an advertisement for the 1960 Winter Olympics. So there you go. You can watch it. There's the show times for the Winter Olympics. And then on the back here, you got the whole Winter Olympics rundown here for another day. And also in here, you also have there's a whole page of letters to the editors, which is kind of interesting, because you hear the people talking of things that were important to them back in 1960. And it kind of sheds a light on a different time. So instead of reading like a history book of the 60s, it's kind of interesting just to see with ephemera what was interesting to people. So that would be everything I found this week so far. I hope to come back next week and have more stuff for you, and other interesting stuff, including pictures, tickets, and we'll see. A lot of stuff shows up, and every book dealer who's watching this has their own stuff and knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not unique to my bookstore. So thank you for having me, and I hope to see you again next week.